Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. As you guys will have seen, no doubt, from the promotion, we are joined today by David Lockwood from Finders International. And David is kindly offered his time up today to speak to us about the work of Dementia Friends. So welcome to David and, of course, Julie. Folks, do you just want to say a quick hello?
Yeah, thank you. Really pleased to have this opportunity to run a Dementia Friends information session for you. It's about 30 minutes long and it's interactive, so you've got to take part in this, everybody, I'm afraid.
That's good. That's good. Keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good. Okay. And folks, as David's just said, we've got more of an interactive session today, and as is normal, continue to use the chat, ask questions. I will be taking any questions you've got afterwards, and of course, throughout, whatever, depending on what David's session looks like. So we're looking forward to that. Okay, look, I'm trying to speak up. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I think I've got some issues with my mic, but if I'm coming across a bit loud, then apologies. But I'll pass over to David, who can kick us off.
Thanks, Neil. Much appreciated. Under pain of death, do I mention the G word this afternoon? Because I think Julie will come after me with a bat. But obviously, I'm David Lockwood, Dave Lockwood from Finders International Probate Genealogy Company. But I'm also a Dementia Friend champion. And that means that I deliver Dementia Friends information sessions. This isn't a training session. This is an information session. This isn't training at all, but it's an information session where afterwards you get the chance to become a Dementia Friend yourself. So I'll tell you more about that later. I'm reading from my notes. Sorry, I've done these loads and loads of times, but you need the notes there just to prompt you and remind you what you're doing of this thing. So as I said, the aim of these sessions is to build a dementia friendly communities around the country so people with dementia feel supported and able to live without fear and stigma. So that's a little bit about me. I'm a volunteer for this. I don't get paid to do it. This is above and beyond what I do for Finders. I run Dementia Friends sessions out in the community with the public. If Alzheimer's Society asks us to do it, we do that. And I'm really enthusiastic about helping the Alzheimer's Society try and change the way people view dementia. I completed training to become a Dementia Friends champion. I'm not an expert in dementia, far from it, nor am I a counsellor. And at the end of the information session, as I said, I'll tell you how to get more information, get support and sign up as a Dementia Friend. And it lasts around about 30 minutes, so it's not too long to endure. Hope you're not melting where you are. Have a drink handy and an ice pack handy or something like that. Got mine here. Sorry, I'm just going to do that because that's nice and cool. And we'll go through it. And it is interactive, so please take part in this. It's quite important that you do. So if you've not already found the chat box here in Zoom, and let's face it, we've all been living on Zoom for the last 18 or so months, you do know where it is. You see the chat bubble and that'll bring up your chat box. So you can type right in it. So you can then click your return button, and then obviously you'll be able to do that throughout the session. And as I say, please do take part because it's vital that you do, because I'm going to ask you for some feedback on the questions that I'm going to be asking you. Now, one thing I have to let you know, and here's my former local authority safeguarding hat coming on, I need to let you know that if you do share something with anybody that raises concerns for a person's safety, I can't promise I can keep it a secret. It's something that's required of me to pass this information on to Dementia Friends and obviously to the local authority for support. It's never happened in a session, and I don't think it will do today, but I have to say that. So here we go. Get ready to type, everybody. What is the first word that pops into your head when you hear the word dementia? Silence. So tap in what you think that word is. Memory loss, that's Sophia. Kevin says someone is struggling. Mental decay from Neil. Jenny says death. Right. Forgetting, Julie, yeah. Any more? I know there's a few of you there. Older person's illness, but sometimes there are younger people who suffer. Immediately feel sorry, confused. It's from Ian and Joanne. Okay. Well, you might notice that some of these words are very negative in their meaning or the picture that they create for you. You've not done anything wrong by suggesting these words because that's how society currently views dementia and shows how important it is that we work to change the perceptions of dementia and address the fear and stigma of dementia. And I'm delighted you're here to help us today to become dementia friends. So, Dementia Friends, what is it? It's a social action movement that aims to increase understanding of dementia and inspire people to take action to support people affected by dementia in their community. The program is led by the Alzheimer's Society as a strand of work to create dementia-friendly communities. And in Wales, the program is supported by the Welsh Government as well. It's also in Scotland under there's a Scottish scheme of Dementia Friends, and also in Ireland for Dementia Friends as well. But this is the England and Wales Dementia Friend that we are running today because obviously I'm in England. Now, to be a dementia friend, all you need to do is understand the 5 key messages that we believe everyone should know about dementia, and then commit to taking a dementia-friendly action. So I'll be asking you to do this later in the session. So we're going to have another feedback session, a quiz, and we're going to start thinking about the 5 key messages that we feel everyone should know about dementia. So I'm going to ask you to take part in a simple quiz. It's not a test, trust me, but it's a way of getting you thinking. And I'm going to ask you a question and give you a multiple choice answers. And please type the answer in the chat box as we go through them. So question 1, who can develop dementia? Is it A, anyone, B, only older people, or C, only women? Who can develop dementia? People, only women. So far, everybody's come back with anyone. Yeah, anyone can develop dementia. That's the first key message is dementia is not a natural part of aging. So what do you think we mean by this? Put your thoughts in the chat box now. What do you think we mean by this term, dementia is not a natural part of aging? Not everyone will get dementia. Yeah, Julie, that's true. It's brought on by the environment, a lifestyle, not a foregone conclusion. Very true. That's the perception to age only. Yeah, Ian, that's true. It's perception. Yeah. Any more? Okay. Not everyone who grows old will develop dementia, and not everyone who develops dementia is old. People in their 20s have been diagnosed with dementia, although this is very rare. So, what causes dementia? Is it, answers in the chat box, please, part of aging, caused by diseases of the brain, or it's a contagious disease? Is it A, part of aging, B, caused by diseases of the brain, or C, a contagious illness? And yet everybody's gone with that, diseases of the brain. Fantastic. Yeah, dementia is caused by diseases of the brain. And that's our second key message. It's the same way that any organ of the body can be damaged by disease, for example, kidney disease, liver disease, heart disease. Dementia is caused when diseases physically damage the brain. Imagine the brain is, here we go, a collection of thousands of fairy lights, okay? Each one representing a memory. So there's my hand flickering. And each one of those is a memory, a skill, or a function of the brain. Now imagine dementia is causing some of these lights to flicker, dim, switch off completely. And for every person, this will happen in a different order and different lights will be affected. So just like any other disease, a healthy lifestyle which features regular exercise, a balanced diet, not smoking, can help you reduce your chance of developing dementia. And what's good for your heart is good for your head. So people often ask what the difference is between Alzheimer's and dementia. And dementia is an umbrella term that describes a collection of symptoms such as Alzheimer's disease. It's just one or a cause of dementia. There are hundreds of types of dementia, including vascular dementia, dementia with Lewy bodies, frontotemporal dementia. There's lots and lots of other dementias. So dementia, this is our third question. Dementia is all about losing your memory. True or false? Dementia is all about losing your memory. True or false? You're good, you lot. You really are, because you've all come up with the right answer. Yeah, false. Yeah. Now thinking back to the fairy lights flickering on and off, not my hand here. Other than memory, what functions does the brain control that could be affected by dementia? Put your answers in the chat box. So what other functions of the brain could be affected by dementia? Neil, nervous system, yeah. Sophia, speech. Julie, movement, yeah. Jenny, motor skills, movement. Awareness, Ian, yeah. Speech, cognitive functions such as being able to eat a meal, yeah. Fiona, yeah. Mobility, yeah. Empathy, yes. Forgetting things, Kevin, yeah. Amanda, regression. It's Jenny who said empathy, yeah. They're all right, because any light can be affected by dementia. Any function of the brain can be affected by dementia, not the light, but the function. So thanks for those. So some practical examples of things that can be affected. Communication, person with dementia might forget words or use the wrong words. For example, calling a dog a horse. And motor skills, someone with dementia might struggle using a knife or a fork, or even climbing up or down stairs. Sequencing is another thing. Someone with dementia might struggle with getting a task in the right order. For example, getting dressed, they might put their shoes on before they put their socks on. Changes in inhibition. For example, someone with dementia used to be a very quiet and shy person, and now they're very outgoing. Your senses as well. Someone with dementia, the brain might misinterpret or confuse what they see, hear, smell, or taste. For example, someone's vision might become affected. A shiny, reflective floor might look wet. You might want to walk in that because they think it's water. A pattern of fruit on a tablecloth might look real and three-dimensional. A black doormat on the floor might look like a hole in the ground, and they're really fearful of walking over that doormat. So bearing that all in mind, this is question 4. Is it possible to live well with dementia and be part of the community? True or false? True, it should be true, but some not. True if managed, true, true. Well, yeah, the answer is true. It is possible to live well with dementia, and that is the 4th message that we pass on, our 4th key message. People with dementia may still be able to work, drive, have relationships. What they can do and how long they can do it for will depend on their particular circumstances. So living well is going to mean many different things for different people. We're not saying that dementia doesn't bring challenges, because as we know it does, but despite these challenges, it is still possible to live well with dementia. So in order to live well with dementia, a person needs support and understanding. With more support and understanding, a person has a better chance to live well with their dementia. For example, when we talked about people with dementia struggling with communication, there's lots of things that you can do to help. So ideas to support communicating with people living with dementia include to listen to them, to give them plenty of encouragement if needed. Repeat back what you've understood just to make sure it's correct. Reduce your distractions, turn off your television sets, go to a quiet room or something like that. Speak at a slower pace. Speak clearly and calmly. Use shorter sentences. Think about your body language as well. Maintain eye contact with them. Ensure your facial expression matches your message. And of course, you could use aids. You can use visual clues like written words, pictures, or objects. So whatever you do, never talk about people with dementia as if they're not there or talk down to them. People with dementia still deserve our respect. And finally, however well-meaning, doing for instead of doing with could increase somebody's experience of disability, de-skill someone and reduce their independence. Where possible, include the person in the activity or task. So, final question, leading on to our fifth key message, there is more to the person than the dementia. True or false? Fantastic. Have you all done this before? Because your answers are really good. True. True. There is more to the person than the dementia. Still the same person there, just the dementia's there. So in the same way we look at someone with cancer or diabetes and see a person first, there is more to the person than the dementia. So I'm going to tell you a story to illustrate this. Now, there was a man living in a nursing home, and every day he'd sit in the corridor. And every time someone walked past, he would start becoming agitated and upset, shouting at people, waving his arms. Staff and residents began to avoid him, and he became very isolated and lonely. One day, some relatives visited, and they began to talk about his past. And they shared that during the Second World War, he worked in the bomb disposal division, and his job was to sit next to landmined area and guide people through on a safe path. Now, the staff realised that the man's dementia was causing him to relive this part of his life. And when he was shouting, he believed that people were walking through the minefield and ignoring his directions. So staff changed their approach. And then from then on, every time they passed him on the corridor, they would stop, ask him if it was safe to go through, and guide them through. And this meant it took a few seconds longer for them to walk down the corridor, but it had a huge positive impact on this individual. He was no longer frustrated. Instead he had a purpose again. People were engaged with him, talking about what he did during the war, seeing him with renewed respect. His quality of life improved, and by embracing the reality, they supported him to live well with his dementia. So there is more to the person than the dementia. What I would say is at the end of this, if you go onto the Dementia Friends website, there's lots and lots of great videos on there to follow up on this. I'm throwing that one in as an aside, but there's some really good videos on there that you can, people with dementia talking about how it affects them. You think that person's got dementia. Wow. But yeah, they have. So it's well worth watching it. So at the end of the session today, I'll be asking you to think about what you can do differently in your day-to-day life, your work life, your personal life, whatever, that may help people living with dementia. So start thinking, here are some examples of actions, what people have done with dementia, have told them that would really help them. So keep in touch with someone you know has dementia, offer to help them. Let people know about Alzheimer's Society and what they're here for. Go via the website. So the advice is there on the website. So anybody affected with dementia, so you could share their social media posts, for example. It's a good one for the ICCM to share. It's a good one. Change your language when talking about dementia. And pledge to say never again the S word, the sufferer word. It's not a dementia sufferer. You're living with dementia. And I say that, what does the term dementia sufferer imply? What does that imply to you, dementia sufferer? What does that imply? Pop your thoughts in the box. Hardship, Sophia. Despair, no hope. Yeah. Life is poor quality and painful. Yeah. Any more? Negative, isn't it? It's a negative term. Woe, misery, someone to feel sorry for, confusion for both family and the sufferer. Yeah, sufferer. Life is poor quality and painful. Despair, no hope, hardship. Yeah, those words. They're negative, and it suggests that it's not possible for someone with dementia to live well. Instead, we use the term person living with dementia. We see the person first, then we see the dementia. So it's always a person living with dementia, not a dementia sufferer, a person living with dementia. So I'll recap the 5 key messages that we've learned from that activity. Dementia is not a natural part of aging, it can happen to anybody. Dementia is caused by diseases of the brain. It's not just about losing your memory. It is possible to live well with dementia. And of course, the last but most important one, there is more to the person than dementia. So I'm going to explain to you now what we call the bookcase analogy. And it's how it was explained to me, and it helps you understand what dementia is. It's not scientific at all, I'm afraid, but it shows you how dementia affects everybody differently. So how does dementia affect me? Say I'm 80 years old. I know I don't look it, but hey, it's a tough life working for Finders. It's a tough life working in local government, I know that. Anyway, but no, I joke aside. Imagine that I'm 80 years old. Now there's a full bookcase beside me, as tall as me. I'm 6'4" tall, still taller than my sons, bless them. And you can explain that this bookcase is my height, and it's there, and it's full of books, and each book on those shelves represents a memory or a fact from my life. Now, my top shelf holds my very recent memories. By my shoulders are the next shelf down are the books from when I was in my 60s, such as my retirement party, etc. By my knees are moving down books from my 20s, such as meeting my partner. By my feet, books from my childhood, such as when I went to school. Now, dementia will rock my bookcase from side to side. So that bookcase is rocked from side to side. So when the bookcase rocks, the books fall off. So where do you think the books will fall from first? Pop your answers in the chat box. The top shelf, top. Yeah, they're going to come off the top, aren't they? So your recent memories are the first ones to fade. And that's why it explains the recent memories go first. So as dementia progresses, my upper shelves will empty. So what I think of as my most recent memories will come further down the bookcase earlier in my life. So for example, if the books that are still firm in my bookcase are on the lower shelf, when I was in my 20s, I might find myself living in the 1960s, for example. So imagine this. I'm going to make a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and I've got a modern kitchen. But my modern kitchen is very different from a 1960s kitchen. So I'd like to put your ideas of what that kitchen is, what the differences are between your new kitchen and a 60s kitchen. What's there? Pop it in the chat box. What's different? Larder. Yeah, larder. Microwave. So you won't have a microwave. Electric kettle. That's a good one. Electricity and gadgets. Yeah. That's a real good one. How many times have you heard of somebody setting fire to a kettle because they've put it on the stove and lit it because it's an electric kettle? Well, because the memory's not there that you remember you plug the kettle in and put it in the wall and press the button. In the 1960s, it was simply go to the tap, fill the kettle up, put it on the gas stove, light the gas stove, wait for it to whistle. So you've got a 1960s mind. You haven't got a 1960s kettle, but you as your carer and friend might want to stop me making tea, but I'm perfectly capable of making a cup of tea. I know what I'm doing. I just don't know about the electric kettle. So what do? I can't get myself a proper kettle that you can put on the stove. Because if you stop me from doing it, that's going to make me feel depressed. That's going to make me feel angry. I'm not understanding why you're stopping me from making a cup of tea, because I'm perfectly capable of making a cup of tea. For God's sake, it's a cup of tea. Put the tea bag in, put the water on top of it. But what we're saying is you make some adjustments. So switching the electric kettle for an old style whistle one, in that way, you're supported to make a cup of tea. And this shows how embracing an individual's reality, there goes my thing, helps you live well with dementia. Now, from what I've said so far, you may think the person with dementia loses everything, but actually I've only shown you one part of the brain. This is the factual bookcase. This manages factual data, biographical data, faces, names, dates, numbers, etc. And I'm terrible with faces and names, so mine's going already. And picture a bookcase that's made from flimsy wood and has been poorly constructed. You've gone to IKEA to buy it, and it's not the greatest of bookshelves. It's not even a good Billy bookshelf. It's the cheaper one than the Billy. It's not very resistant to dementia, unfortunately, and it will move a lot and the books will fall easily. So there is another part of my brain where it's a separate part of the brain, and you can picture this as a separate bookcase, let's say, and this is my emotional bookcase, and this is where all my feelings and emotions are, and that's made from solid oak. You've gone to Oak Furniture Land and you've bought the most expensive bookcase, and there it is. It's solid, it's not moving, and it's so more resistant to dementia, so its contents will be safer from dementia for longer. So for every book you put on that bookshelf, on your factual bookcase, you have an emotional bookcase there for it. There's a corresponding one there to there. So in the factual bookcase, I've got a memory of a teacher I had at school. And in the emotional bookcase, I've got the feeling of inspiration when he taught me, or the feeling of fear when I saw Mr. Higgins walk in the room. Everybody had a Mr. Higgins, didn't they? Actually, he was a really good chap, Mike Higgins. In later years, I got to know him. But we all had a Mr. Higgins. And that feeling, that, the memory's there of him, but the feeling of him is there as well. So you've come to visit me and we've had a row. And we've argued about something, about the fact I want to make a cup of tea and you won't let me make a cup of tea. So, and then I forgot your name as well. I can't remember what your name is. But I know you, but I can't remember your name. And we've rowed about it. How do I feel at that point? How does that make me feel as the person with dementia? Upset, frustrated, yeah. Scared, yeah. Angry, true. Yeah. I mean, all those words are right. So those feelings are still there, but you've gone away. You're thinking, oh, he's got dementia, he won't remember it. Now, I may forget the argument. I may forget the fact that we've had that argument. Oh, I can't remember your name, and that book's fallen off and it's not there anymore. But what stays with me are the feelings of sadness and upset and of anger. And they're in my emotional bookcase and they're still there. So when I see you, those feelings are still there. So you're wondering why I'm getting a little bit resentful of you. Well, that's because those feelings are still there. I've forgotten about what we argued about, but those feelings are still up in that bookcase. So let's give you a positive example. You come and visit me on a different day and we go out and have a lovely time. We go down to the seaside and we have an ice cream. So how are you going to feel at that point? I mean, could really do with an ice cream now, but how will you feel about that day? What are your feelings? Happy. Yes, Julie. Joanne. Yeah. Content. Jenny. Well said. Yeah. Ian. Elated. Yeah. Yeah, they're the right words. You're feeling good. You're feeling loved, content, and happy. You've got good, positive feeling about that. Now, later on, I've forgotten about the ice cream and even the whole day out. But those recent books, they've fallen. So my memories have gone. But you might not visit for some time, but when you come back, those memories are still, those feelings are still there. Those contented memories that I had, those feelings that I had. I've forgotten about the visit, but my factual bookcase is gone. But the feelings of love, happiness, and comfort have remained in my emotional bookcase, and that really is the positive thing. So I may forget what we did, but I know that I feel safe and happy, and that is what matters the most. And that's why we encourage anyone who knows someone with dementia to keep in touch with them, still speak to them, because there is more to the person than the dementia, and we want to help them live well. So let's turn understanding into action, and let's recap those 5 key messages from earlier. What was number 1? Tell me what number 1 was. Anyone can develop dementia. Yeah, dementia is not a natural part of aging. That's the first key message. It's not a natural part of aging. Dementia can happen to anyone. What's the second one? What is it caused by? Sophia, diseases of the brain. Yep, that's it. It's caused by diseases of the brain, as it would be with any other part of the body. It's a disease of the brain. Third one, dementia is not just about, remember the bookcase analogy, memories, losing your memory. It's not just about losing your memory. Fourth one, it is what with dementia. It is, Julie, yeah, possible to live well. It is possible to live well with dementia. You may not think it, but it is. And the fifth one, probably the most important one. There is more to the person than the dementia. Yeah, that's it. There is more to the person than the dementia. There are our 5 key messages. It's not a natural part of aging. It is caused by diseases of the brain. It's not just about losing your memory. It is possible to live well with dementia, and there is more to the person than the dementia. So I'm going to ask you a question now, and I'd like everyone to answer. It's quite a simple one. What does dementia friendly mean to you? Put your thoughts in the chat box. Caring, understanding, supporter, adapting your behaviour, Neil, understanding the needs of the individual. Brilliant, Jenny. Thank you. Sophia, have an understanding of the condition and support, kindness, understanding, taking time to think about things around us. Yeah. I think that's, aware of the problems that they're living with. Yeah. To enable someone to lead as normal life as possible. When we do these sessions in real life, it's a little bit longer and it's a little bit more involved. But one of the things we talk about is somebody who has a perception problem, that they see something on the floor and they think it's either a hole or it's wet and they can't walk around. And just if you see somebody standing out, I don't know, somebody standing outside of a store and they're standing and there's a big mat on the floor that's very dark and they might think it's a hole and you're wondering what's going on there. Is it possible you can just say, you okay? Do you want me to help you across? take their hand and help them across. They might be like that. It's just very simple actions like that. There is no action too big or too small. You know, I think we've all learnt today that it's important to show patience and kindness towards people living with dementia, and you've all reflected that in your answers. Other actions that you could take part and suggested by people who are affected by dementia include keep in touch with someone you know living with dementia and offer help to them. It might be a neighbour, it might be a friend, you don't know. Make the work of Alzheimer's Society possible by fundraising or make a donation. They're always after us Dementia Friends champions to do some fundraising. So we do a little bit down at Finders. We do cake sales and things like that. Well, we will do when we're back in the office eventually, like everybody else. You can volunteer for an organisation that helps people with dementia. You can sign up to the Alzheimer's Society's campaigns to help improve the lives of people with dementia. This could be as simple as signing an online petition or writing letters to your MPs. Another great action you might consider is actually to become a dementia friend yourself and get your digital badge. Now, I actually do have lots of badges here, as you can see. I'll hold them up to the camera, which is not in focus, but there we are. Lots of badges. And if Julie lets me know, I will get some down to her and get off to everybody who has taken part in this session today. So you've got to let Julie know that you want your badge if you signed up. But what we do is we give you the opportunity to sign up as a dementia friend. Now, it's a completely voluntary thing. If you've understood the 5 key messages shared in this session, and you've committed to making a difference by taking action whatever it is, small, large, becoming a dementia friend, you can do it one of many ways. Now, first off, I'm going to hold this up, see if you can see that. Can you see that? Right, good stuff. You can either go to dementiafriends.org.uk/live stream or text friends to 83080. Or just go to the Dementia Friends website, and I'll send Julie the details a little bit later. But go in there, log in, and then you can become a dementia friend that way. Now then, you can you do the text, and I said you can go online at www.dementiafriends.org.uk/live stream to share there. And if you need details, you can come back to me, david.lockwood@findersinternational.co.uk for more details. And as I said to Julie, we are going to be running some more sessions for local authorities in August and September. If anybody's got colleagues that they think would like to take part in this, drop me an email. I'll let you know the dates and the times of it, and we're doing a Zoom session, and it's exactly the same as this. It's just another Dementia Friends session. And I will try and make sure you get all your badges. But anyway, I'll leave you to it with that. That's basically it for Dementia Friends. If you sign up, congratulations. You get to do this. Hold that up and say, we are Dementia Friends. And it's a great thing to do. As an organisation, we've committed to it. We hope that, I know lots of my former colleagues in local authorities, they're Dementia Friends. It's a good thing to be involved with, but it just raises the profile, and I would urge you to go to the Dementia Friends website and watch a couple of the videos on there, because you will be quite astounded, and it's quite moving. And that is it. That's me for me. Julie.
Sorry, David, I was just trying to sign up.
Unmute yourself.
Yeah, no, I was just heading to the website. Thank you. That's really, really useful.
You're welcome.
You think you know about dementia, but actually there's always something to learn, isn't there? And
there is,
that's a really good insight.
I think the bookcase analogy is the fantastic one, that you realise that you do lose your memories and why they're there, but those feelings are still there. So yeah, it is. We all know people with living with dementia, and we do our best to make sure that they have as normal life as possible, and we support them. So that's all we can do.
I think it's great, and I think I would urge sort of anybody on here today to follow it through. You're going to get people coming into the cemetery and crematorium offices who may be really struggling with understanding, and we need to have kind of skills and strategies to help people. rather than get frustrated because they can't articulate what they want. Or we've all got experiences of people who've come in and sort of ranted and raved, but we understand why. And we need to be able to kind of turn that around and sort of make those people feel safe and supported. So yeah, what you've told us today has been really useful, David. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, Amanda's just put about a father with Lewy body dementia, and yeah, it is an awful experience. There's no two way that the person you love slips away from you, but they're still that person. Their feelings are still there, and those feelings will be there for as long as they're there, and as long as you're making sure that they've got those feelings of support, love, that's there for them. That's the main thing I can say. But I appreciate the time this afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for giving me the time. I think there was 15 people, so I will go back onto Dementia Friends website and tell them that fingers crossed we're creating another 15 Dementia Friends today. So that's superb. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think as you say, encourage colleagues to attend sessions as well. I think you can't tell enough people about this. I think everybody needs to have a basic awareness and understanding, because as you say, David, I think we're all going to be either affected ourselves or know people who are affected. I don't know what the statistics are, but it's pretty high, isn't it? I think
it's pretty grim, but Alzheimer's do a hell of a lot of good work, and there are lots and lots of breakthroughs coming all the time. So obviously the COVID pandemic has pushed things back, but they're still raising money. They still need money raised for them to do the research that they're doing, and they're doing a fantastic job. And there are some very, very, very exciting new treatments that are going to be around that could possibly, touch wood, make things a lot better for people. I hope anyway.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Don't know if there's any crematoria people listening who are in the metals recycling scheme, but it might be an organisation to nominate for the next round of the metals recycling money, possibly.
That would be, because I know there's quite a bit of money raised by that, and that would be fantastic. And I know that Alzheimer's would be very welcome of that.
Yeah, brilliant.
Okay.
Thanks, David.
No problem. I'll love and leave you all then.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Take care, guys. David.Lockwood at findersinternational.co.uk if you need to talk to me about a Dementia Friends session, and nothing else, of course, but there we are.
Thank you, David.
Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.